Welcome to Weekly Digest, where we highlight the works of ministers of government as they push the administration's development agenda. Picking up from where we left off last week, Minister within the Ministry of Public Works, gov't Indar, says that the public school system, the public healthcare system, and the country's infrastructure network could all be enhanced and further developed with Guyana's oil money. Minister Indar made this comment during a virtual interview with gov't. The minister said, quote, "Our government has been clear that oil and gas will be used. There are some infrastructural issues. Look at some of the infrastructure that we were left with. Look at some of the ports and the harbors, the roads, the bridges. Look at them. A lot of them are dilapidated. Now we are starting to build them." End quote. The minister said these are where some of the major problems are that act as bugbears for the country. Already, the government has started rolling out an extensive infrastructure plan, building and repairing roads, bridges, and highways across the country. The justice system in Guyana is expected to drastically improve with the introduction of sentencing guidelines, which are expected to come on stream by mid-2022. Minister of Legal Affairs and Attorney General Anil Nandlal made this disclosure during an interview with DPI on Saturday last.
The Ministry of Legal Affairs and the Attorney General Chambers is spearheading a project which includes the hiring of a consultant for the drafting of sentencing guidelines. In fact, there is a public advertisement currently out in accordance with IADB stipulations, because they are the funding agency, seeking to enlist the services of a consultant to undertake the project, which is to draft sentencing guidelines.
Also on Saturday, the Attorney General led a COVID-19 vaccination drive that benefited a number of residents of Annandale and surrounding communities on the east coast of the Marara.
It is important that we continue these public engagements and we continue to encourage our citizens to take the vaccines and to take the booster shots and to make it as convenient as possible for them to have access to this type of medical care and medical facilities. And that is why we are not doing it in the urban centers alone, but we are traveling across the length and breadth of the country to carry out this exercise as a government.
The minister thanked the staff of the Health Ministry and the Guyana Defense Force who conducted the vaccination exercise. Over the last weekend, the Ministry of Agriculture partnered with the Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission, GLSC, to identify lands suitable for agriculture development nationwide. Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa, during a community outreach on the east bank of Berbice, said the land mapping will be completed before the first quarter this year.
So we will be doing that mapping out shortly. The Ministry of Agriculture will be working very closely with the Guyana Lands and Survey Department. And before this first quarter, we're going to get that mapping out finished and know exactly what we'll be doing.
To achieve the goal of making Guyana a leader in food export in the region again, the ministry is also open to private funding and is extensively working to create more opportunities and achieve a sustainable future for all Guyanese. Still on agriculture development, cash crop cultivation for several farmers within the Mara community on the east bank of Berbice will soon be enhanced with an additional 100 orange plants as well as 75 bags of fertilizers.
We need orange. Those are permanent crops. The orange plant, I already told him that I will make 100 available for these farmers here. You all will receive that within a week from now. Within 1 week from now, you'll receive 100 orange plants.
Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa says with the increase in fertilizer prices, the ministry is currently negotiating with its bilateral partners to reduce the cost. A number of smallholder farmers who were affected by the 2021 floods nationwide will receive agricultural and livestock inputs valued $27.2 million or $136,000. The United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, on Tuesday handed over the inputs to the Ministry of Agriculture through its project dubbed Emergency Response and Early Recovery Support to smallholder farmers affected by the 2021 floods in Guyana and Suriname.
And this here today, as I said, is another support from our partner in helping the agriculture sector, because as a government, we recognize the importance of agriculture to our economy.
Turning our attention to the health sector, the Ministry of Health says it will no longer be issuing discharge certificates to persons who have completed home isolation after contracting COVID-19. With over 12,000 persons currently infected with the virus, the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, says the ministry will be unable to issue documents for every person that may come requesting the document.
When we had 2 and 3 persons coming for that discharge certificate, we can go back, look into the results, check, and be able to issue that certificate. With thousands of persons who have gotten infected, right now we have about 12,000 people who have gotten infected. It is extremely difficult to verify the records to be able to issue discharge certificate for everyone.
Further, Minister Anthony says public sector agencies will not require employees to produce the clearance certificate to return to work. Dr. Anthony says that should private sector entities continue to require the document, other measures will have to be implemented by these agencies to accommodate that. Regions 5 and 6 received donations of 2 buses from the Central Islamic Organization of Guyana, CIOG, for the purpose of improving mortuary services on Wednesday.
As a prelude to opening the facility, we know that a lot of people would have challenges in getting maybe one of their dead relatives from wherever the site where they die to the mortuary, or maybe sometimes from the mortuary to take them back home or take them to the cemetery.
The minister says he is confident that the people of Regions 5 and 6 will be receiving a more efficient service through a collaboration with CIOG, who will be managing the 2 vehicles. The Mixed Martial Arts team of Guyana on Wednesday met with Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, Charles Ramson Jr., as they prepare to depart for the United Arab Emirates. The team will join athletes from over 50 countries at the International Mixed Martial Arts Federation World Championship that will be held in Abu Dhabi.
It's great that you're taking the jump into this new sport. It's got a lot of growth prospects, but it's a tough sport. So your ground game has got to be important.
On Thursday, Minister within the Ministry of Public Works, Deodat Indar, visited several communities in Enmore, East Coast Demerara, to inspect ongoing road works. This was undertaken to ensure residents are provided with and benefit from quality infrastructure development while dispelling claims and concerns of ineffective road works by contractors. Upon inspecting several roads that were recently repaired, Minister Indar stated all but one was of the utmost standard to be utilized by citizens.
I've received a complaint that the quality of the work is not proper in Enmore by the contractors that were done. A number of streets we went and checked in Shariga area and so on, right? We're here now in our Albu area, Albu Street, right? So we checked about 6 different subcontracts, contracts that small lots around the area. All of them except one street that we found to be not in a good state, and the reason for that is in Logwood. The first street that we went and visit, that street there, it was just up to the stage of crusher run and sealing of the crusher run. So a contract was awarded actually to pave it. So what's happening there now is that it's raveling out.
The ministry has already approved the same contractor to complete the second phase of road works on the Logwood Street, which will commence in the following week. As the week tapered, the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs, the Malali Quarry Inc., and the Malali Village Council signed a lease and addendum to the mining agreements, which will provide opportunities for residents there. Minister of Amerindian Affairs Pauline Sukai commended the Village Council for striking another deal with the mining company, as it will boost the community's economic activities. The minister says the contract is within the requirements of the Amerindian Act of 2006.
In this case, we are very pleased that the Village Council has stepped up with respect to addressing investment, stepped up in addressing the need to create employment opportunities, and of course, that will, in the long run, benefit the opportunities for job creation and increase income of the people of that village.
The ministry also facilitated a contract signing between Hururu Village Council and businessman Amir Bacchus for 3 years to continue logging practices there. Here now is Vice President Dr. Bara Jagdeo on Budget 2022.
Infrastructure, tax reductions, and the overall welfare of Guyanese take a huge part of Budget 2022, which will be read on Wednesday, January 26, 2022. Vice President Dr. Bara Jagdeo made the disclosure during an interview with NCN. During the interview, he said the budget focuses on the future growth of the country.
So new highways, roads, investing on power grid, on ICT, the same things that make our business more competitive so we can generate more jobs and more diverse jobs in agriculture, in ICT, in other areas, not just oil and gas.
The budget, he said, also focuses heavily on creating a business-friendly environment and ensuring that there is job creation for Guyanese.
So, tax reductions in the budget, making the business process easier for people, and of course, implementing the local content law, which will bring big benefits to Guyanese. You see some countries now are trying to muscle in on our opportunities. We're not going to allow that to happen.
Dr. Jagdeo said a major focus will also be placed on welfare-enhancing areas, noting that government will be working with Guyanese to find ways to alleviate the rising cost of living.
On cost of living, we'll have to work with communities during the course of the year to see how we can mitigate some of it.
The national budget will be presented by Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh.
That's it for this edition of Weekly Digest. For these and other government-related information, do log on to our website at dpi.gov.gy and our social media platforms as well. Goodbye.